It's a bit of a weird herb. Like, you wouldn't expect it to
Do
fix
so much.
seasonal affective disorder, yet it makes you happy in the winter.
And this is the time of year where I really, 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 really enjoy my castor oil.
I know what I'm gonna ask Santa for Christmas.
This is a time for vigorous exercise. Are you laughing at me?
Oh, I thought you were gonna say vigorous something else.
And that. And that.
Because it is the Ayurvedic season for that as well.
Went to bed at 7 last night.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Welcome to Herbalism Uncensored, the podcast where we dig deep into the world of herbalism and natural healing. I'm Alicia.
And I'm Lila. We're two clinical herbalists who recognize the need for honest and authentic conversations about the state of natural healing today. As practitioners, we feel called to have uncensored discussions about why people aren't finding relief and what to do about it.
If you're frustrated by lack of results, overwhelmed by conflicting advice online, disillusioned by the commercialization of wellness, or simply passionate about natural healing, you're in the right place.
This podcast is our way of cutting through the noise, busting myths, and challenging marketing gimmicks.
This is Herbalism Uncensored.
Where together, we're nurturing the future of natural healing.
The contents of this podcast are for informational purposes only and are not intended to be a substitute in any way for professional medical advice, treatment, or diagnosis. It's important that you always seek the advice of your physician or other licensed healthcare provider with any questions or concerns you may have regarding a medical condition.
So I know everybody's been waiting for it. This is our winter episode. We're going to talk about all the things you can do to stay in balance in the winter season.
I feel like winter snuck up on us. We almost forgot to do this episode.
Well, we didn't have fall here. We literally went from like summer. We had like the longest summer ever with record-breaking highs all November and like very little rain, which is not our normal fall. And then suddenly it got down to like 40 degrees. It was like, oh, it's winter.
That's valid. We have a short fall. It's a very nice fall, and then all of a sudden everything's dead and cold, and you don't see the sun for, weeks on end, and it happens so quickly. I'm still not adjusted to the sun setting at 4 p.m.
I don't think that's a thing that you adjust to.
No, it makes it very hard to be productive.
That's a short day. So are you still in your cooler?
I am still in my cooler.
Okay.
I'm still in the midst of a move, and every day I have less and less furniture in my house, but my cooler is staying. So don't worry, we can podcast.
You're keeping the cooler, so the podcast will go on. Well, I'm still in disarray and officially have no office. And I'm in my living room, bedroom, game room right now.
Well, I'm glad you found your microphone.
I only had to move like 4 pieces of furniture to find the microphone, and then almost had a conniption fit when I couldn't figure out where my, what do you call these things are? Oh, headphones were. And then I remembered that I put those in a drawer that I could actually get to. Because, yeah, guys, disclaimers, right? We've got disclaimers. Last week, all my furniture was in my office, and this week, all my furniture is in my living room. So
That's progress. It's moving.
It's moving around. It's moving around. It's like a really, it's like an interactive Tetris game over here.
And some hide and seek and
Yeah. It's a karmic workout.
amen. Before we dive into the winter episode, I think you have some updates.
I have a couple of updates. One, well, corrections. I have corrections. I want to correct myself. To any of our French listeners out there, I do apologize. Café du Monde is the coffee of the world, not coffee of the mountain. I do not speak French, but world makes sense. The other thing is, we were talking about mushroom coffee substitutes in our last episode, and I had not been able to get some information from the chat box at Rise, RYZE. So that is actually probably another promising mushroom coffee substitute company. I did get an email back from one of the representatives they use a full spectrum mushroom extract, meaning that they use mycelium and fruiting bodies. They can't disclose the percentage of the mycelium to the fruiting bodies because of proprietary reasons. And all of their mushrooms are grown in the USA on logs and gluten-free oats. So yeah, I think that sounds pretty promising. And they do third-party testing as well. So it might be another one to check out. I did buy a bunch of the Rasa products and tried them.
Oh, did they show up?
Yeah, they showed up.
What's your take?
Well, I purchased several different items, and I do like their cacao blend that you make in a French press. It is tasty. It's like cacao and chicory and adaptogens and several different mushrooms, and it's actually tasty. It's like it's like a chocolatey chicory hot tea. Not quite like coffee, but it is tasty. I did purchase some other items that I just didn't enjoy the flavor of.
No, thank you for sharing.
So
I am so stuck on why do they grow some mushrooms on pieces of wood but others on oats?
that's an that's a
Right?
good question.
All right, maybe that's a topic for another day.
Someone would maybe they don't have enough. I mean, it has to be dead hardwood. It has to be hardwood. So I mean, maybe they just don't have enough hardwood. Like hardwood's expensive. Oats are cheaper.
Yeah. I would think you could reuse the wood. I don't know. All right,
Yeah, I
that's
mean,
gonna
you
be a
could
rabbit hole.
reuse the wood.
Maybe you
I
get something different. Maybe you get more fruiting bodies on the wood and more of the mycelium on the oats, or
I'll email Alex. He was
you
very
got a homie.
responsive. He was very responsive. Said, "Let me know if you have any other questions." I'll ask him. I'll get back to y'all next episode. We're gonna get to the
Thank you.
bottom of this mushroom thing.
All right, we'll look forward to that because I am actually curious. But let's get to winter stuff.
Winter
I will
stuff.
tell you, we just had so it's been like you're in a fog here. Like you go days without seeing the sun, and we just came off of two very sunny days, so I feel a little rejuvenated, but the seasonal affective disorder hit me quick this year.
Papa style depression.
Oh yeah. Heavy, dark, wintry depression.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, that and I mean, it's like vitamin D deficiency too, I think. Are you taking your vitamin D? I double up on my vitamin D in the wintertime.
Yeah, I've been hitting the vitamin D quite hard.
Are you taking the Gokshara?
No, but I
Shit.
might need to. It just makes me pee a lot.
It does.
I
I
already
think,
pee enough.
but we talked about this a little bit before. I think that's one of the ways that it works because it's one way to get a lot of kapha out. If you have excess kapha, is to urinate a lot. It gets that internal water out. But I mean, in before we like go off on a tangent, like winter, we were talking about this before we started. I want to be really clear that we've talked about this, I think, in every one of our seasonal episodes, that you have to consider your climate. That a lot of these things, these suggestions and these routines for the seasons were, come from the Vedas. They're thousands of years old. They've been developed over time, but they've been developed for people who live in a particular climate. And every climate is different. The climate that I live in here is very different from the one that Lila's in, but actually it's more similar to Lila's climate than it is to your climate if you live in, say, Nevada. So we have to consider what that is. I think that here we very much have like it's more of a I think it's Texas. The joke in Texas if you don't like the weather, wait 5 minutes. So, we could be very, very dry for a couple of weeks or a couple of days, and then out of nowhere, it's crazy, crazy dripping wet with either pouring rain or 100% humidity with no chance of rain, where you guys are always wet, right?
Oh yeah, as KP says, it is perpetual spring here. We get 5 minutes to dry out in the summer, but for the most part, it's very just wet. And it doesn't get super, super cold. So it's just like, it's perpetual coffee season here.
Yeah, so you have a Kappa style winter where it's cold and wet. Whereas here, I think we also, like I said, it could depend on the week whether we're having a cold and wet winter or a cold and dry, windy winter.
Yeah.
Or, sometimes it's cold, wet, and windy. Then you're like, oh man, you got to watch out for the Vata and the Kapha. And if you live in Nevada or Arizona where there's no humidity and no chance of rain, but it's just cold and dry, then you've got to watch out for Vata aggravation. So consider where you are and who you are as well.
That's such a good reminder because we do the seasonal episodes and we talk about the seasons, but the things that influence you are going to be your geography, your weather patterns, the current climate, which, as Alicia pointed out, can change from moment to moment. You might live in a place with microclimates. You might have certain imbalances you're dealing with that are more important than the season. It it all matters. There's so many different factors. So these are overarching recommendations, but as Alicia pointed out, and I'll just emphasize, our winters can be cold and dry or cold and wet. So what kind of things you tailor to yourself are really going to depend on that.
Yeah. So I mean, really, at the end of the day, it's like we know we want to warm up. We want to warm up a little bit, but do we need to dry out as well as warm up? Because if it's really wet, then we need to dry out, or do we need to? I'm confusing myself here. Or do we need to moisturize because we're really dry, or our
Yeah.
climate is really dry?
Well, that's the cool thing about energetics is it doesn't have to be complicated. You kind of can just look at yourself and go, am I hot or cold? Am I wet or dry? Am I heavy or light? And then you just do the opposite. And
Yeah,
that's how you restore balance.
it's
Now, those things
such.
aren't always easy to point out, and you can have conflicting patterns, which is a whole other rabbit hole. But
But it's a good practice. Like I like to just kind of like wake up and like when I wake up in the morning, feel how I feel getting out of bed. Like do I when my feet hit the floor, do I feel heavy or do I feel light on my feet? Like that's a good indicator. Is my mouth dry or am I salivating? Are my lips dry? These are just things to pay attention to and practice awareness with. And then maybe we do some of these practices that we're going to talk about on this episode and say, hey, man, my mouth was really dry when I woke up yesterday, but I've been doing these other things and now my mouth isn't so dry.
well, that's the cool thing about implementing these practices is you'll know if they work because you'll either feel better or you'll feel worse. And if you feel worse, you did the opposite of what you needed to do, but it's still really good information. And now you know what you need to do.
Exactly.
So, like I, as we pointed out, live in a very wet climate, but I am very dry right now dealing with Vata issues. So if I were to do a bunch of dry things, then it's going to perpetuate my current imbalance. So we're all unique.
Is it windy there?
It's not super windy. It gets a little bit windy, but it's not super windy. But we've been running the heater a lot, which I think because now we have the other layer of we have artificial climates that we create in our homes.
Yeah,
And so running the heater a lot makes me dry. And so that I think tips the scale in one direction for me. I'm
that
very
can do it.
sensitive to heater. Yeah.
And that's one of the things, like, here we get, that's one place to start. It should not be shockingly different indoors to outdoors. Like you need to keep it warm enough in your home where you can function and relax, but it shouldn't be like sweltering hot or toasty indoors. I know here everyone we wear in the summertime we wear jackets inside buildings and we're nothing outside, and it's just like such a shock to the system. And it's the same thing here where you go out and you're bundled up in a jacket and then you walk into a building and it's like they've got the heat on 90, and it's too much of a shocking change for our bodies to be able to switch from. So we want to have like gradual temperature changes as we go on about our day.
I was laughing because we have microclimates in our apartments, but it's such a good reminder
What is
because
that?
a microclimate, like, like just the small local climate.
Oh, okay. I thought
With the heat, it was a joke.
it is.
It was a
Okay, I
joke about my
understand.
my heater, but
Sorry, I've been doing construction for a week. I'm slow.
it's okay. That's one challenge I have. been having this winter, especially as I'm very keyed and tuned into how I'm feeling, is I just feel like I'm oscillating between like temperature extremes. I go outside for a walk, I'm freezing. I hop in a hot bath, I'm too hot. Then I, go do something else and I'm freezing. And so that's a really good reminder for me that it's it's challenging to make it gradual, but it is so much better on the system not to be oscillating between the temperature extremes.
Because I want it to be 78 in my house, but really it's probably better if it's like 65. And I wear my flannel PJs and my warm socks.
So we touched on it, but the qualities of winter, it's cold, it's heavy, it's either wet or dry, depending on where you're at. We have lower light coming through, it's cloudy, it's dense, it's slow, it's a different pace of life. It's definitely like an inward season.
I can even feel that, like, as because I listen to our episodes, that as it's gotten cold, like, we've slowed down even in how we talk. Like, the fire's dying out. We're just like working with the burning embers at this point.
That's really interesting. I feel that though, on a lot of levels. Like I just don't want to do anything right now.
But it is, it's a good time to kind of slow down and rest and ground. Think about like think about the bear hibernating in his cave. This is the time where, I mean, where it's going to be dark. Things are coming. If you look at the spiritual aspect of things, that like everything is coming to its end, and there's going to be death, and then in the springtime will come the rebirth. So it's time for us to put some things away and stop what we're doing for a little while. Pack on some pounds to stay warm through that cold winter. Rest, relax, take it easy, build some ojas, and then we can come out in the springtime with a renewed sense of purpose and a renewed energy to continue on with all of the things that we were doing, because this is when we come up to winter solstice. Winter solstice that's the new year. That's the time to look back at like all of the things that we tried to do this year, all the things that we planned, the things that we did well, the things that didn't go so well, the things we want to do differently going forward. And we are coming up on that as a society. When do we do that? We do that on New Year's,
Hmm.
which is just about like this year, I think 10 days after winter solstice. It's always right around the same time.
Coming from Southern California most of my life, where it's one season, I find it so interesting how our bodies want to mirror the seasons. And even if we live in a different climate, I think that the internal wiring is still there, but
Hmm.
you get more aware of it living in a place with seasons. Out here, things like shut down for the winter. Like the parks, public bathrooms close and the campgrounds close and like everything goes like dormant. Stores have shorter hours and it really like does force you to go inward and stay home and be grounded, which is really quite interesting to think about it.
That is interesting to think about. I'm trying to think, 'cause, yeah, we don't have like anything like shorter hours. I feel like we actually have seasons here. It's not like Southern California. This is off season. I just keep fighting for. I think we should have siesta time in the summertime, and where everything closes in the middle of the day, like they do in Central America. But yeah, nobody's listening to me.
We'd have to be productive through the afternoon. So,
What about food?
well, one thing I find really interesting is because it sounds counterintuitive, but our digestive fire is some of the strongest digestion we'll have all year long because our body is pulling heat inward to protect us from the cold. And that heat can go down to or go towards breaking up heavier, richer, fattier foods, which is why in the winter we eat lots of meats and stews and shepherd's pies and warmer, richer, heavier foods, which I love. I love the variance in the diet throughout the year.
Yeah, this is the time of year that you can eat some meat. The Ayurveda police will not come and get me for that because Ayurveda doesn't say you can't eat meat. But no, you can definitely eat heavier foods, eat fattier foods. That's time to, like I said, time to pack on the pounds.
Yeah. your appetite will naturally increase, and you should listen to that and honor it.
Well, and again, like here we come back to like moving with the seasons, right? Whether or not, even though we live in our little microclimates, like you need that. If we were out there in the cold, we would need those extra calories. So don't suppress it, but also like use those calories.
Yeah. Well, and there's just, again, something so energetically grounding about those things, like as it is easy to, especially if you're in a dry climate, to be too windy and needing that extra grounding. So definitely take advantage of getting to eat meat and potatoes this time of year.
We had we had meatloaf and potatoes with butter and chives the other day. It was so good.
That
It's just
sounds
like
really good.
boiled new potatoes with butter and chives. It was very much like it was very much just like wholesome.
What are new potatoes?
New potatoes? What are new? They're smaller. You don't know what a new potato is?
Oh, no,
Do
no.
they have new potatoes in Oregon? In
We
Oregon,
just have
they have
old
those old
potatoes.
potatoes.
I have no idea what new potatoes are.
Do we have new potatoes or red potatoes, Brian? Same thing. They're red potatoes.
Oh, we have red potatoes.
That we call them. Okay, they call them new potatoes
Okay.
or red potatoes. They're the same thing.
Of course they are. That makes total sense.
So yeah. So strength and immunity. Our physical strength is going to be highest in the winter. So this is a great season to, like I said, eat more, move more, build ojas. This is a time for vigorous exercise. Are you laughing at me?
Oh, I thought you were going to say vigorous something else.
And that. And
Because
that.
it is the Ayurvedic season for that as well.
Wait, what are those bears doing in those caves?
Something.
I think they go in
Doing
their caves
something.
by themselves.
You don't think they hibernate together? Do you think every bear has its own cave?
I don't know. How many bears are there?
How many caves are there?
Okay, I'm asking Scotty. Bears hibernate together.
I just picture all these little mama bears and baby bears all like curled up in a cave together.
No.
That's so cute.
Only moms with cubs. Adult bears den alone.
Oh man.
Males especially are loners. Mature male bears typically always den alone and may even kill unrelated cubs if they encounter them, so sharing a den would be risky. Bears do not form big communal hibernation groups like bats or marmots. It's mostly one bear per den, with the sweet exception of moms plus cubs.
Not as cute as I pictured.
Not sexy either. No sexy time in the bear's hibernation cave.
No. The bears are not following the same rules as us, apparently.
Lots of sun salutations and then like healthy sexual expression.
Yes. We have lots of extra energy this season, so it is the season to do that. Plus it gets dark at 4 p.m. Like what else are you gonna do?
What else are you gonna do? It's cold outside and it gets dark at 4 p.m. Yeah.
So some of the things that maybe we should have led with this, but can build in the winter if you let the winter energetics oversweep you, are you're going to be subject to immune issues. It's, your cold, your flu, your common sicknesses, mucus issues, water imbalances, water retention, fear. If you get out of balance, fear strikes.
Trying to like make the connection with that.
We can experience a sense of insufficiency or fearfulness, and we can develop a lack of determination to follow through on anything. I always think about, we just get so, like, I think of depression like a heavy blanket that is just like weighing on us. And I think that for me, the winter time can be really oppressive. We don't have a clear sky. There's literally clouds coming in on us and you can feel really trapped, and it's kind of ominous outside. Like I go outside and it's foggy and wet and you can't see what's in front of you, and it is a little fear-ridden.
I think that absolutely. And then also there's something primal about it as well. Like winter is the season that can kill you.
Yeah.
There's nothing Ayurvedic about that, but like the truth, nobody's dying from the heat, but people have frozen to death. It is it's something, it is the season to be afraid of. There's something primal about that.
That's an interesting thought. Yeah, there's definitely something dangerous about it getting so cold.
Oh, well, I mean, was it, was it 4 years ago? It froze here. So you got to understand when you guys get below 32 degrees Fahrenheit. I imagine, I'm guessing, like frequently in the wintertime.
A little bit, and we'll have some big freezes every couple of years.
Yeah. So, well, here it's a big deal if it ever gets below 32 degrees. And, even if it happens for more than 12 hours, the whole city shuts down. They shut down the freeways, nobody leaves the house, kids don't go to school. It'll be 30 degrees outside, schools are shut down. So it got below 32 degrees for like 3 or 4 days, and we lost power, and people froze to death in their homes because they had no way to stay warm. It was like 18 degrees at night.
No, I remember when that happened. That was a big event.
It was, yeah, it made
Like
international news or national news, I guess.
Texas froze. Ted Cruz fled the country or fled the state.
Did Ted Cruz flee the state? See, I didn't even know that. I was here.
Yeah, I remember there was a lot of political judgment behind what some of the big dudes were doing. But yeah,
Dudes, yeah, people were angry because, well, I mean, the whole thing was ERCOT said that they were going to do rolling blackouts. So, but we didn't have rolling blackouts. There were people who never lost power, who had power the entire time. And there were people who didn't have power for like the entire 3 days. And that's not a rolling blackout. Rolling black, they didn't understand what a rolling blackout was or something. And people froze to death.
oh, they were playing favorites.
In 2021, people froze to death.
I think you really hit the nail on the head that it is kind of the dangerous season.
Well, I mean, I guess if you lived in a desert, then like summer could be very dangerous as well. But I feel like just in our modern day and age, like it's still the most dangerous season. And there's got to be something like, me, Jane, you, Tarzan, very primal about that.
I'm Tarzan out of the two of us. Just kidding.
I'm too short to be Tarzan.
That's fair.
Actually, there's something very primal, something from that.
All right, so what do we eat not to die?
Eat warm, moist, cooked foods. We're big fans of cooked foods in Ayurveda, right? And I believe in eating with the seasons, like lots of cooked green vegetables, the cruciferous vegetables. These are the vegetables that are going to be in season right now. Things that you're harvesting at this time are, heavy starchy foods, grounding foods. Mushrooms, be a great time to eat some mushrooms. Not Ayurveda. The Ayurveda police will come and get me, but the TCM people, they're into it.
Yeah, they'll like you. And spice. Do you want to? Well, to touch on, yes, Ayurveda for the most part likes cooked foods, unless you have some really super strong digestion and it's summertime.
Yeah.
For most 3/4 of the year, your raw foods are out.
Well, and we want to think about spices. Like, we could nitpick the spices because we want to do warming spices, right? But a lot of warming spices will make us sweat, and a lot of warming spices are diuretic and will make us pee. So if you're having yourself a dry vata winter, a cold, dry winter, then you want to avoid the things like peppers, cayenne, black pepper, the things that are going to make you pee and sweat. And you want the things that are going to warm up your insides, things like ginger and coriander,
Cinnamon.
cinnamon. I know cinnamon's also very drying. It's like cinnamon's hot and dry.
I was thinking it's like cinnamon. It's winter. You put cinnamon in your eggnog.
Well, you put cinnamon in your eggnog, right? Your eggnog, eggs and milk in it, which is like super moisturizing. So then things balance out. This is a time to warm things up, though. It's a great time to try out some of those herbal wines. It's like if you really want to just like try some fun stuff, go to your local Indian grocery store and get one of those. Oh gosh, it's gonna end in aristam, right? You'll find it'll look like like a giant Robitussin bottle, and it's gonna have a little measuring cup on it. It is an herbal wine.
Yes. In
Co-
addition to some, oh, go ahead.
I was just gonna say Kumari Asava could like never hurt anybody
Oh, yeah.
if you partake in alcohol.
Good stuff to keep your circulation nice and warm.
Mhm.
So some food ideas, you could be doing soups and stews and kitcheries. Spoiler, I think kitcheries are good for every season, but kitcheries maybe with some extra warming spices or grounding vegetables, root vegetables. It's a great time for grains, your rice, your barley, your oats, ghee, and good fats. Warming herbal teas, like we kind of just touched on. Meat broths. It's a great time for meat broths. I just made a big batch of chicken bone broth with chicken feet, and it jiggled so good.
Yeah, yeah. Eat your pho, eat your kitchery.
I love pho. So what do we
Right.
avoid?
Cold foods. No ice cream.
Ice cream, I think, would be the worst food you could eat during this time of year.
No raw foods. Nothing too sweet, too sugary. Not too much bitter stuff in excess. Like, so, we talked about cruciferous vegetables. Like, those are bitter, but if you cook them up really good and you put some spices on them, put some salt on them, it'll keep you from drying out too badly. And eat until you're full. Eat to satiation. This isn't a time to count calories.
Great reminder. Nourish yourself. You can work it off in the spring.
Yeah, there you go.
All right, so we're eating nice, warm, cooked foods. Our spices depend on if we're in a colder, wetter, drier climate. We got to tailor it a little bit to where we are, but the morning routine is going to be a little bit more universal, I think. And winter is the best because you get to sleep in.
Yeah, go
It
to
is the
bed
season where
early.
it's appropriate to sleep in the latest.
Go to bed early and sleep late.
Mm-hmm.
I'm all for it.
Oh, same. I've hit like bedtime at 8 o'clock a couple times the last couple weeks.
Went to bed at 7 last night.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That's weird. I thought 8 was weird, but 7.
I've been so tired.
Oh, it's all at construction.
But yeah, sleep in later. Get up and brush your teeth with some heating herbs. Like if y'all, okay, I've got to say, I have been like really into the tooth powders lately.
Yeah.
Yes, I am loving the tooth powders. Brush your teeth with heating herbs. So we've got on our list, we have cinnamon, clove, haritaki, but especially if you're in a wet climate, like part of waking up in the morning and scraping your tongue and brushing your teeth is to get all that ama out of your mouth that has accumulated overnight during the coffee hours while you were sleeping. And it's counterintuitive to brush your teeth with a gooey paste that has all of the same qualities as kapha or ama. Ama and kapha have very similar qualities. So I've been using tooth powders, which I've heard about, known about for years, but I've really gotten into them in the last couple of months and I love it. There's just something more like cleaner and more refreshing. And especially if you have, as like I think almost everyone does as we age, the receding gum issue, you put some astringent herbs in there to dry things out. Most like turmeric or babul, which is acacia. You can use ashok. You can use arjuna, which is also good for your teeth. It just kind of like, I don't know, it just makes my mouth feel right. I can't really describe it. It's just better than toothpaste.
I know exactly what you mean, and it's almost ironic because when you use toothpaste, it's like white and sterile, but when you use tooth powder, like it looks like this dirty, dark,
Oh,
muddy
yeah.
mess. But your teeth feel better than when you use toothpaste. I'm a big fan of the tooth powders as well.
I put them in my hand and I like grab them and use my finger to put it all over my teeth before I start brushing. And then
Oh, interesting.
mine has turmeric in it and it like stains my hand yellow. I have to really wash it afterwards, but it makes my teeth white.
Yeah, it's very fascinating. Are you buying your tooth powders or making your own?
No, I have a couple. I bought several. I bought 3 or 4 different ones, and I've got one that I really like that I can't remember what it's called right off the bat.
All right, you'll
Okay.
have to tell me later. Banyan makes a couple of good ones. Banyan Botanicals.
Are they minty?
One is minty, like pepperminty. One is cinnamony.
See, I like the cinnamon clovey better.
Yes, same. And same with their Dusha oil. Their mint's like eh, but the cinnamon one's much better.
Well, it's like they're trying to take something traditional and like whitewash it for us
Yeah.
to Americanize it, westernize it, and it's just like we expect the things we put in our mouth in the morning to be minty.
Yeah.
But I don't know, there's something really nice about the clovey.
I agree. Oh, and then you get really funky. And I know we're on a tangent now, but I was doing alum and salt for a minute.
Mm-hmm.
Whoa, that'll wake you up. But there's nothing minty about it. And it's a completely different oral experience than your typical minty toothpaste, your fresh or, the flavors that we normally tend towards. But it's really effective and does what you're looking to do, which is clean your teeth. So you're totally right that the mint is a very Americanized thing. I mean, what in India they used to use neem sticks and chew on neem sticks to brush their teeth. Like mint was not the original tooth cleaner.
No. Yeah, I don't know what the deal is with the whole mint thing. I mean, because even my dentist, when I started using clove, was like, keep doing it. And we've been using that in dentistry for hundreds of years. But mint doesn't have like the antibacterial properties that clove has. And the neem stick has even like come out. Like people are selling neem sticks now on Instagram. Oh yeah, I
Awesome.
saw I forget who it was, but it was a pro basketball player with a neem stick on Instagram saying this is the only thing I brush my teeth with.
Whoa.
And yeah, and there was like a link, like he's selling neem on Instagram, neem sticks on Instagram to brush your teeth with. So we know about this. This
Was
is
he Indian?
no, he was not.
That's fascinating to me. That's pretty like niche stuff right
But he
there.
had like a beautiful, big, beautiful white smile. I can't remember who it was, but he was a pro basketball player on Instagram with neem sticks. You should look at it up. Look like you're looking at.
Well, I've looked a couple. I've tried to buy neem sticks a couple times. And I couldn't find a good supplier for them. So now I'm like, maybe the market has changed since I last looked, and I'm gonna go find some neem sticks to chew on.
I bought some from an herb store in the neighborhood and I couldn't use them because they tasted like the incense that they burnt in the store. Like they had just been sitting in the store for so long
Oh
that they
man.
tasted like incense. But I have a neem tree. It's not big enough yet, but the day will come where I can just go and pick my own little neem stick off. But
Well, then you can send me some.
we are for real off on a tangent about
Sorry.
teeth brushing.
It's important.
But yeah, I mean, let's not put gooey stuff in our mouth. That's just that's all I've got. Stop put gooey stuff in our mouths first thing in the morning to wash our mouths out. Get up, have a hot
Brian would dis-
shower.
Brian Brian would disagree with that sentiment. Sorry, I was making. I will edit that dirty joke out.
You can leave the dirty joke. He knows I don't like to put gooey stuff in my mouth first thing in the morning.
But it's winter.
So, tooth powder. Let me ask you this, since we're on our tangent. The alum and salt, were you using your own salt? Were you making this yourself?
Yes, I did, and I ground it up better.
Oh, you
But
ground it.
yeah, I did. I used my spice grinder and got
Really
it more
ground it up.
powdery than salt. Yeah.
Yeah, because I think that's worth mentioning for our listeners that, like, you should, if you're using something like salt to brush your teeth, you want to really grind it. What is it? Ayurveda says that it should be so thin that you could put it through a piece of silk to keep it from scratching the enamel on your teeth.
I don't know if I got it that thin, but I tried. But yeah, that's a great reminder. Anytime you're making any tooth powders, because you can use a lot of herbs for tooth powders. You can use cinnamon and neem and charcoal and turmeric and all these things, but you do want them powdered so they are not damaging the enamel.
Yeah.
Definitely worth mentioning. Other things to ensure you have in the routine are Gandusha, oil pulling, maybe with some warm sesame oil. And again, you can include some of those warm spices we keep talking about. And of course, the ever coveted do it in every season, Abhyanga. I don't warm my oil. And now I'm thinking I should start.
I have done it where like, because I'll do it in the shower, right? And if I put the bottle under the hot water, it'll warm it up. Because I don't want to like microwave it or anything, but just put it under some hot water will warm it up a little bit. You don't even have a microwave anymore. And this is the time of year where I really, 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 really enjoy my castor oil. Like the almond oil goes away, the sesame oil goes away, the coconut oil goes away, and the castor oil comes out. It's also a good time to try out some of that mustard oil if you're in a really wet place, if you're in that coffee season. But this is, I like, because again, with all those warming spices, I've got, right now I'm using castor oil with frankincense and myrrh. And everyone who comes across me says, who smells like patchouli? Because I guess it smells like patchouli. It smells like hippie shit, you know? It's like, there's a
Who is the
hippie around
hippie?
here. There's a hippie
Yeah.
somewhere. And it's just really, really nice. And especially the castor oil at night before bed. Like, I almost have gotten to the point where, like, I don't relax until I put the castor oil on my feet before bed. There's something so soothing about it. It's so subtle.
Well, it's so interesting to me, and sorry, another tangent, but like all the things we do for Dinacharya, the Abhyanga, the ear oil, the nose oil, and now for me, the eye drops, like I don't feel complete in the morning until I do the thing. Like my eyes are like, you forgot about me? You're not going to put eye drops in? Now these things have become needs. My body needs them.
Well, I mean, it just feels so much better when I'm putting oil in all my holes.
Amen. Amen, brother.
So we want to drink, again, back to the morning thing, warm water in the morning upon waking to ignite your Agni, and just like warm beverages all around.
Yeah.
This is the time
All
of
day.
year, like to not go drinking ice water and making your liver cold and sludgy.
Don't do what I'm doing, drinking iced matcha with sweet potato cold foam.
Sweet potato cold foam?
I took a sweet potato and I turned it into cold foam, and it's delicious.
Cold foam.
But it works better on the ice because in the hot beverages it just kind of disintegrates.
Have you ever done it with chickpea?
Oh, the
Chickpea
fava
meringue?
water?
Chickpea
haven't.
meringue?
No. It's on my radar, but
I keep meaning to. I haven't ever done it.
what I find is when you make things with beans, they usually taste like beans.
So this is a great time for, especially if you are in a kapha place, to do like warming vinyasa yoga. Bastrika. What is Bastrika? That's breath of fire, right? Yeah.
Can you give us a demo? They won't be able to hear that.
You can't hear. So it's, I don't know what's the difference between Kapalabhati
Well, I
and
was
Bastrika.
just thinking the same thing.
So I'm just gonna say this is a great time of year to do breath of fire, and like clear your nasal passages, heat up your insides, warm up your Agni, get your circulation going. And the way that you do that is you take a deep breath in, and I'm sitting. Take a deep breath in into your belly, and then push it all out through your nose, and then you'll naturally inhale.
It's very energizing. It's very vigorous compared to other breathing exercises, and it can really kind of just heat you up and get you going for the day.
Ooh, I need to do some more of that. And you see, if you can't see my belly, I was just doing it. My chest is barely moving. All of the movement's coming from the belly. I'm just using my belly like a bellows to push the air out. It naturally flows back in. Push it all out, naturally flows back in. And if you do that it's one of those things that if you just do for 1 minute, will make you feel like a different person. Chest
100%
opener and back bends. It's back bend season, y'all. Shout out to all my yoga better peeps. Back bend season. Sorry, I love back bends.
You're excited. Chest openers and back bends.
Chest openers and back bends. I got metal in my spine. I love me a chest opener and a back bend.
Yep. And don't forget your sun salutations, which I think you mentioned earlier, but a nice, again, warming sequence to start your day with. Get
Yes.
things moving. Should we talk about herbs?
Yeah. We're not going to talk about sex.
What would you like them to know about winter sex?
Have more of it.
Beautiful. And follow it up with a nice Ojas beverage. I don't know
What?
that we've talked about Ojas beverages
I don't think
on
we
this.
have.
So in Ayurveda, after you have sex, it can be a depleting event. It can give you some energy back, but it also can take some energy away from you. It can be very depleting to your ojas or your life force. So you want to replenish what you just lost by drinking an ojas beverage after sex, which is also really good for bonding, and it's a nice little ritual after. So our ojas beverages are really grounding beverages made with things like warm milk and ghee and dates and saffron and nutmeg and sesame seeds and almonds, and there's 1,000 different recipes and ways you can make it, but that's kind of the base, and you heat it up and you blend it, and it's really just like post sex cuddles in a cup.
Yeah. Warm milk and oja with ojas building spices and nuts and dried fruits in it. Or if you're like if you're rebellious, like we are at my house, we have Odin snacks. I asked my husband if he wanted an Ojas drink. He said, "No, I'll take an Odin drink though." And so we kind of have our own little play on it where we'll take yogurt, which actually has a warming energy, a slightly warming energy compared to milk, and we put the dates and the nutmeg and the cinnamon and almonds and things like that, things that will build ojas, and mix that up, and we have ourselves like a little yogurt snack to build ojas.
I don't know how yogurt snack is somehow more manly.
I think it's more like because old men drink warm milk, right? Like my grandpa wants a warm cup of milk before bed. So my husband will eat a bowl of yogurt, but he will not drink a cup of warm milk.
That's all right.
You know, he's not there yet. He's like, I'm not an old man yet.
There's something so satisfying about because I've been doing some like turmeric spiced milk before bed with my
Yeah,
A2 milk,
golden
and
milk.
dude, it makes me so tired. Like just again, hugging a cup and you can just kind of fall right into sleep. It's very nice.
Yeah, dude. I mean, I think that there's the warm milk beverages are so building and so nourishing. And and I say if go for that before you go for the yogurt snack. It's just the reason that I share is because I think that we have to kind of like we have to work with what we've got. And I think we're better off having a yogurt snack than having nothing to build ojas after sex, especially in this ojas building season.
Well, and I think it's great to point out that you have to make it work for you, and these things are customizable. They're not persnickety rules that you have to follow. You can make it your own and make it work for you. So I think it's cool that you guys do yogurt snacks.
Yeah, like Ayurveda is not the practice of Ayurveda is not following a bunch of old dusty rules from some old book that some old man wrote down. It's about being aware and doing what's good for you at the right time in the right way
Yeah,
with the right people.
agreed. All right, we got to talk about herbs before we
Herbs.
run up on time because I think we already mentioned it earlier, but we have to spotlight the best herb for seasonal affective disorder.
Gokshura.
Gokshara. It's tiny cowheads? No,
Cow
what are they called?
scratcher.
Cow scratchers, the spiky little balls that get stuck in your socks.
Is that
Is
what
one
those
of
are?
goat heads.
Do they get stuck in your socks? I mean, I guess we don't have them here. I think it's an air.
More deserty. Yeah, they get stuck in everything.
If you've had Gokshura stuck in your socks, I'm like fangirling.
I don't know. Well, yeah, because if my in-person herbal identification skills are not up to snuff, but yeah, like in deserts, the goat heads that get stuck in everything, they get stuck in your dog's fur, and they're really spiky and abundant and everywhere. Yes. I had a client who I put on Gokshara, and she's like, the goat heads, I hate those in my backyard. I'm like, well, try them as powder in your body, and maybe it'll change your tune. But it is one of the best herbs for the season. It's energizing. It helps with seasonal affective disorder. It's diuretic. Just an overall kidney tonic. It's one of my favorite herbs. It's very cool. It's very demulcent and slimy, and it does a lot of really cool, interesting things.
Yeah. It does a lot of really cool, interesting things. It
It's
is.
it's a it's a bit of a weird herb. Like you wouldn't expect it to
Do
fix
so much.
seasonal affective disorder, yet it makes you happy in the winter.
Well, it makes you happy in the winter. I like it as an aphrodisiac.
Yes.
It's
Yep.
diuretic, but diuretic without drying you out. So no, it's a super cool herb and absolutely great for mood enhancement, just in general. So yeah, that's definitely a standout. It's not necessarily a warming herb, is it? But it is moistening.
Yeah. I don't think it's too far on the cooling side though. Probably close to neutral
I
if I
would
had to
say, yeah,
guess.
probably closer to neutral. So yeah, there's that to warm and ignite Agni. We've got things like ginger. I'm gonna talk about chitrak. Chitrak. No,
Too dangerous.
too dangerous.
Too dangerous.
Too dangerous to talk about.
Well, you want chit rack, you have to work with a practitioner.
To
I mean,
support.
I stand by that.
Okay. To support kapha clearing, if you're in the kapha place, we got Purnanarva. It's a great diuretic, one way to dry out. Nah, I can't say this word. Prana Asava, that's one of the ones that you can find I'm sure you can find at your local grocer. This is a medicated herbal wine with Purnarva in it.
One of my other favorite herbs, pipili, which is equal parts detoxifying and building and rejuvenating. And you can use a lot of pipili during this time of year.
Yeah, Pipili is an interesting one. Ooh, this is a good time to try out some layums.
Tell us what a layam is.
This is an herbal jelly. Chyavanprash is a layum, isn't it?
Yes, ma'am.
Chyavanprash is a layum. Which we've talked about Chyavanprash ad nauseum, but you can get other kinds of layums, like it's like Shatavari layum. You could probably get a Gokshara layum.
Well, this is a great time for even Chyavanprash. It's immune building. It's got lots of warming spices in it. It's a banger of a herbal formula for this time of year.
And this is a great time for just like Trickatu in general. Like this is the time I think, like again, depending on where you are. Like if you're in a really drying pattern, this is a great time to bust out the Hingvashtak. If you're and just take a little bit every day. If you're in a very wet place, then it's going to be a great time to take Trickatu every day. Trickatu is a mix of ginger, black pepper, and long pepper. That's the pipili. So
Yeah,
just to
very classic, very good Ayurvedic formula.
you want to just touch a little bit more on understanding the kapha versus vata patterns in winter?
Yeah, like symptom wise,
Yeah,
or
like so if you're having like a dry winter and you're having vata problems, you're looking at things like dry skin, constipation, you squat down and those knees start cracking, anxiety, insomnia, low weight, low appetite, and cold hands and feet. So if you're noticing these kinds of things, then like you might be in a dry pattern. And if you're in having some kapha type symptoms, would be stuff like congestion, right? Heaviness, fluid retention, swelling really anywhere, but you probably see it in your hands and feet or notice it in your sinuses or your throat, and just like a slowness, low motivation.
I just realized we went through a whole winter episode and we didn't mention yogi tea. I
What
feel like
about
that's
it?
a great winter beverage. with the warming spices, warming tea.
I don't,
It's just a basic chai with cloves, cinnamon, ginger. You put pepper in it, orange in it. If you want to make it a little more drying, you can add bay leaves. If you want to make it a little more moisturizing, you can kind of tweak the herbs, but it's just a perfect warming beverage to drink throughout the winter.
hear, hear. That's an excellent idea.
All right, so to summarize your winter routine, daily abhyanga, figure out if you need to pacify your vata or your kapha. You want warm foods, easy to digest foods, warm teas, warm exercise, yoga, vigorous sex. Stay warm, stay dry. When you're outside, be really mindful of what you're wearing. No midriff hanging out.
Well, yeah, exactly. We didn't, I can't believe we didn't talk about that. Like, how about dress for the season? Like, cover yourself when you go outside. If you live in a cold place, if you're in a windy place, I've been talking about this for years. I figured out that when it's windy outside, I have to wear a scarf. And this is like more on the from the traditional Chinese medicine paradigm, but they talk about like the evil chi coming in on the wind. And I feel like it affects me. That evil chi comes in and it attacks me unless I cover my throat. Gotten into the habit of looking outside, or when I check my, what do you call it? When I check the forecast, looking at the wind, because it tends to get pretty windy here. And if it's windy, I'm covering my neck. I'm wearing a scarf. Traditional
I have a,
Chinese medicine talks about covering your core. So not only just like no midriff hanging out, but wear your thermal underwear. Wear an extra undergarment. Wear an extra undergarment that covers your waist, because the season is ruled by the kidneys. We want to keep the kidneys nice and warm. And so, you have like, I had to go out in the world yesterday, and it was cold here yesterday. And I have a pair of like thermal leggings, and they come way up to like the waistband comes all the way up to under my breast. So it really covers my core up. I appreciate that.
that's a great idea. Thermal underwear. Bring them back.
They never went anywhere.
Oh. I was thinking like the old timey, like long johns and
Like the one
you know,
piece.
we were like the one piece or even like the pants and the undershirt. Like they feel very old timey to me. Because now everyone just has their midriff hanging out.
See, in the wintertime, I don't know. It's all covered up. Everybody's all covered up down here. Once it gets below 50, we're all cold. We're wearing our parkas. But yeah, I'm
Yeah,
thinking,
not around here. People be dressing the same.
it's just it's like a different country up there.
I live by Portland.
I'm sorry.
Yes. Yes. It is a different country. We're on a different planet.
Yeah, but I'm thinking like high-waisted leggings, undershirts, long johns, whatever you like, but keep in particular like the head, the throat, the core, cover it up. Dress appropriately for the seasons.
Yes. Which again seems obvious and like something you would do, but we don't. So that's a great reminder. A lot of good reminders. Do you have any other last parting winter wisdom for these
I
people?
think that was it. Was like, y'all wear some clothes.
Big takeaway. Wear clothes.
Wear clothes. I mean, it's like I don't know. I'm wearing my hat inside my house right now.
Yeah, I'm wearing socks and a flannel. And my heated blanket goes with me everywhere
Oh, I love my heated blankie.
until my dog steals it. So it's like a little bit of a war between who gets the heated blanket, but the heated blanket is like a game changer.
I got a weighted blanket.
Ooh.
Have you tried one?
No, I'm familiar though.
I mean, it's warm. It's weighted with porcelain beads.
Oh, wow.
So, I mean, what is it? I think they said it's supposed to be about 10 to 20 or 15% of your body weight. And it is like, I don't know, man. There's something really special about it. That's all I have to say about everything. Is there's just really something really special about like lots of stuff that we're talking about today. But no, it's incredibly warm. It's like a fleece blanket that's weighted with porcelain beads. So I'm warm and toasty and just feel so nice and secure under my weighted blanket. I just got it a couple of weeks ago and it's lovely
Dang, that sounds very
and
nice.
warm.
I know what I'm gonna ask Santa for Christmas.
So I think it's probably not something great for somebody who has a lot of kapha imbalance, but it definitely it evens out that vata aspect of things. The lightness of vata. Throw a heavy blanket on it.
Yeah, that sounds lovely. As somebody with excess vata. All right, I think that gives people enough to play with for the winter.
Yeah, I hope so. Eat warm, eat cooked, eat your OJAS building foods. Stay moisturized, stay warm, dress for the weather. Don't detox this time of year. Go to bed early, sleep in. Lots of good stuff. It's enjoy your winter and like refresh and recharge and get ready to resume when the spring comes on.
And reflect. I think it's a good time to reflect.
Yeah, reflect. We have
Yeah.
any other rewords?
No.
I'm gonna go
That should come.
repaint my house.
Redo the floors.
Remed for the baseboards.
Well, we'll let you get back to your your house rebuild.
Thank you guys so much for listening. Thank you for your time with me today, Lila. And see y'all in a couple of weeks.
Yeah, happy holidays.
Happy winter. It is here. Bye.
Thanks for tuning in to Herbalism Uncensored. We're genuinely humbled by the love and support you've shown us. If you've been enjoying the show, be sure to subscribe, leave a review if you feel called, and don't hesitate to reach out. Whether it's with a question, a success story, or a topic you'd love us to explore in a future episode. And remember, both Alicia and Lila, that's me, run virtual clinics. We'd love for you to check out what we're up to. You can find Alicia's practice Holistically Correct at holisticallycorrect.com, and you can learn more about my work at the Virtual Natural Healing Clinic by visiting tvnhc.com. Until next time, be well, stay grounded, and keep healing.